Okay, I've got 1:30 and I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is a special Commissioners Court meeting for County of Starr, Friday, February 24th. Let the record show we do have quorum, Commissioner Eloy Garza being absent. If everyone will please stand for the pledge of allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any public comments?
There's none, Your Honor.
Okay, we have claims.
Yes, claims have been reviewed and I recommend for approval.
Motion to approve, Your Honor. Second.
Moved and second to approve. Discussion. All in favor, please, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then, I guess the real reason that we're here for the audit, miscellaneous or either.
What's the presentation study from Mr. Hernandez?
Okay. Mr. Hernandez, thank you so much.
Thank you,
for
good afternoon.
being here. Good afternoon.
I think everyone has a copy of the book. I'd like to begin on page 18 of the one for Starr County audit first. And as you turn to the page, just for the record, the auditor's opinion is unmodified. That translates into a clean opinion. Page 18, statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balances, governmental funds. Obviously, this is for September 30, 2021. You've been making efforts to catch up. I think after today, you will be considered or technically current. I'll explain that at the end. This is your operating fund. The first column is the general fund. Total revenues were $18,726,788. As you look down, total expenditures $18,479,576. So your revenues exceeded expenditures by $247,212. You had some transfers in of $286,500. Giving you a net change in the fund balance, an increase of $533,712. You started with a fund balance of $6,277,241. So you ended with $6,810,953. Any questions on the general fund? If not, I'd like to turn to page 24, 23, 24. So this is the statement of revenues and changes in fund net position, proprietary funds. On page 23, you have the international bridge, the gas system. On page 24, the transfer station, and then the total, as well as the internal service. I'd like to note that on page 23, towards the bottom, the international bridge had a change of net position of an increase of $197,239. It started with a net position of $2,249,005. So it ended with $2,446,244. Right next to that, the gas system had an increase of $90,980. This over the years has slowly been improving. It started with a negative $197,463. So it ended with a negative, or a deficit, if you will, of $106,483. Any questions?
No, really, I guess it's more of a question for our auditors. Does this include some of the monies that have been drawn out to pay on the debt that's to general?
For the gas, I think,
Yeah, it's mostly, that's what it is,
Payroll?
it's for the payroll.
payroll.
I'm sorry?
It's mostly for the payroll, that's what the major thing is due, it's due to payroll that, the gas owes. And then when it was combined with the transfer station.
Right, so, but, the positive that we made from 197 to 106, which is about 90,000, does that include what was transferred?
Yes.
It does.
Yeah, that's why it's going lower little by little. Like I said, I don't wanna leave
Right.
the gas with
Right,
nothing.
right. So hopefully in another
Yes.
year or two, we should be in the positive. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's good. Over on page 24, the transfer station, you'll note that that had a decrease of 112,278. It started with a negative 169,668. That one starting to decrease down to a negative $281,946. Any questions? Because this is obviously so late, I have no plans to cover anything else because the whole year has transpired since this fiscal year ended. And obviously, we've survived that. But knowing that the general fund and these enterprise funds, overall, we're in good shape. Certainly, you've made it through 2022, so I have no other plans to cover anything else. So any other
Okay.
questions?
Yeah, going back to page 18, on the road and bridge,
Yes.
we started with a negative 900,000 and ended with a negative 459.
Right, the increase was 445,862,
Okay,
so that really turned around.
okay, yeah, and that's, we've been working on that for several years also. Because at one time, I wanted to keep it as close as I could without going into a rollback, but now that was changed by the legislature. So hopefully this next audit will be in the positive. Let's see what else. On the American Rescue Plan, on that same page, well, I guess this was at the beginning, because now we have several $1 million in that.
Actually, Judge, if you go to page 15,
15
as it's relating
to 15?
15, you mentioned millions of dollars, it did happen. And the reason you saw over on page 18 where the revenues were in agreement with the expenditures, they zero out, but that's because of the grant accounting. So
Correct.
that's how that is treated. So back on page 15, this is the balance sheet. This is as of September 30. At the very top, $6 million cash in bank.
Right, that's about,
Right. Then you've got some accounts payables and another related due to the funds. But if you'll note the $5,873,000, that represents a deferred revenue. So in other words, you did receive the money, but because you didn't spend it, it's deferred until you start to spend it. So you're correct.
So I guess, in summarizing, our fund balance at the end of this fiscal year was how much?
It was $6.8 million.
That's money that's not earmarked for anything. Separate.
On page 15, on the first column,
Mhm.
what is restricted is $666,642 at the bottom.
Okay,
What's discretionary is $6,144,000.
okay. So we can say that we have a fund balance of $6 million at the end of this fiscal year,
That's correct.
2021.
2021, correct? Okay. Those are all the questions I have.
Those are good questions.
If y'all have any other questions?
I do have the answers, we had some findings and we considered them to be significant and material. And they've addressed the findings, and they propose to take corrective action in this fiscal year 23, obviously because it's now being presented.
Okay, and where would those be?
Those are inside of the audit, and they're also in the inserts. You need to pull out the insert that's accompanying your audit report. Yes, sir. And you'll note at the bottom, the findings are referenced with 2021-01, and then
Anything that jumps out that we should be aware of?
well, I mean, yeah, these right here, and they happen simply because, and I was talking to the county auditor, they were overlooked or oversights. We certainly brought it to their attention. But we feel it's necessary that these type of adjustments is not our responsibility to report. Now, you do have an outside professional that provides technical assistance, which we believe as auditors is necessary that you have this person. Because this person's responsibility is to oversee what we do. Nevertheless, this is an oversight, there's a correction, and again, could have been due to the new office that was, taken by Aleti, or just the pressure of catching up. This is our audit adjustment. We proposed it, they agree with it, and they'll take corrective action.
Okay.
The other one is merely because you're late, and it's referencing the state and federal grants. That'll take care of itself with time.
Okay, yeah, and that was really one of our main issues, that we, we stand to lose. A county like ours, we rely a lot on federal and state monies, grants. And by the audit being this late, we certainly lost the ability to apply for some of them. And of course, that's money that just not coming into the community.
I will say this, Judge, that today, after you take action on this, you're technically current.
Correct. Yeah.
However, typically a good time to be reviewing the audit is the end of March. So 6 months after the fiscal year end, that should be sufficient time for any governmental entity to have their audit ready and presented. Now, the grantor agencies, most of them say you have until June 30th.
Right.
Otherwise, you become delinquent again.
Yeah.
So, and because you're a single audit, in other words, you spent more than $750,000 of federal monies, you have to submit this audit to the federal clearinghouse. When that is late, you become a high-risk auditee. But you were a high-risk auditee the last time I presented that. So what does that say? It says basically that you're likely to not be in compliance or meet the required guidelines that are set forth by these federal programs or state programs. Doesn't mean you won't, but you're likely not to. That's the category you fall under.
So, well, I guess we've got a lot of work to do to stay current.
Our understanding, based on our conversations, is they're projecting to finish by July of this year. So you may fall delinquent.
Yeah.
So you might want to perhaps provide them some assistance, additional help to get them done by the end of June.
Well, again, the court, Commissioners Court, has always been very willing to bring on wherever we need to. This is critical for us.
Right.
It's crucial for us. Because like I said, a lot of our offices depend on grants, the DA, the sheriff, certainly us. So, I mean, every dollar spent on this is certainly well worth the return. So, yeah, for whatever's needed, we need to get it done.
And then for the 22 audit, you're gonna have another set of eyes auditing this, because you have another auditor coming in for the 22, I think through 24,
Yes.
25 audit.
Well, again, we thank you for making us current, even though it's only for a month. But we thank you, and I know at times we might have been very persistent, but I'm sure you understand
I understood.
the reason.
We certainly felt the pressure back home to trying to catch you up, and it was a lot of work, and certainly it was, effort, from the auditor's office as well, so,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you. The other, you want to go over the bridge?
I just did,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Right.
Any questions or comments? Letty, anything you want to add, or?
I would just like to let you know, we already started working on the 22. So we already been doing progress on that.
Okay. So do you think we'll have it by July?
I think so, I believe we will.
If you were a gambling woman,
Mm,
what are the odds?
Throw a number.
7.
uh,
27.
Keep it low.
Huh?
Judge,
No,
I'm a gambling man,
Okay,
and I think if you provide them with another helping hand, an outside professional, in addition to what you have already, you'll be done by June. Because I've talked to the gentleman that helps them, and he's well experienced. But my observation is that you need another person.
well,
For the short
you
term.
tell us.
You don't want to go past June, Judge, because we got you current.
Yeah,
There was a lot of work to get you current, and then you're gonna fall delinquent again.
yeah. Have we replaced that young lady that left?
yes,
We have?
yes.
Okay, so, do you have anyone else that we could, a professional that could get us to where we need to be?
I would really have to look into that one.
Okay.
Mhm.
What I mean by that is, not the daily operations, but putting
Yeah,
this
just
together.
about it,
Yes,
Mhm.
it's about
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a permanent job, it'd be just,
it. Short term,
yeah,
just to catch you up,
right.
because, like I say, the ideal time is March. And I'll put them under a lot of pressure, and I'm walking away, but, everywhere else we do audits is March,
Yeah.
under current. We've got Rio Grande City, we're gonna deliver in March. We've got Roma, we're gonna deliver in March. That's the ideal time.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get there.
I think you can.
Well, again, Mr. Hernandez, thank you so much,
Thank you.
appreciate your work.
Yes, sir.
Any questions? If not, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve the audits as presented.
Motion to approve, Your Honor. Second.
Moved in second, discussion. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, and that would be for items 5, 6, and 7. That would be the Starr County International Bridge and the gas system. Who'll make the motion?
I did, Your Honor. Motion to approve.
For all?
For all three, Your Honor.
Second for all? Okay. All in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Moved in second, all in favor, please, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion